3 in this best of 7 at Globe Life Field. And Max Scherzer ready to go against this lineup for the Astros. Second and third, and Maldonado with a smash by Young. Astros take their first lead of this series. Jose Altuve finds it. It is gone. Christian Javier, the 26-year-old from the Dominican Republic, virtually unhittable in the postseason on the road. And the Astros come to Arlington and take Game 3.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into Game 4 of the ALCS. The Astros taking a huge Game 3 victory last night, but the Rangers still have control of this series here. The roof just opened a few minutes behind us, Alex. This is our first time seeing this stadium with the roof open, but we got a big one coming up tonight. Game 4, we're going to talk all about it, but I'm excited for tonight.
Oh, me too. I mean, this place was rocking last night, so I'm curious how loud it's going to be tonight now that the roof is open. It was only open 11 times this season and hasn't been opened since May. So does it have a factor, I guess, on the players?
It definitely changes things. It definitely. Both teams wanted the roof closed last night.
Okay.
They were both asked. MLB sometimes wants the roof to be open, so that's what happens. When MLB wants the roof open, you see what happens. The roof opens. So we'll see. Again, like you said, it hasn't happened in a long, long time.
Yeah.
Since May, the roof hasn't been open. So we'll see how loud this crowd is with it open. Being closed last night, I was really impressed with them.
I was so impressed with how loud this place got. But, Ben, this is a huge one here tonight, right? This is kind of a momentum game. If the Rangers can take this, it feels like they can win one more. If the Astros take this, they're tied up, and it feels like they're right back in this. So what's at stake for both of these teams here tonight?
Well, this here tonight is the most pivotal game of the series. It's 2-1 right now. So let's talk about state of the Astros. What does this mean for the Houston Astros? Well, first off, let's just start with how they do in Game 4s when they're down 2-1 in a series. They're 5-2 all time, which is the best record in postseason history in a minimum of 5 games. So they've been here plenty of times. 0-2 doesn't bode well for them, but 1-2 bodes much better for them. So that last night was huge. Now it's 1-2. They get back to where they are comfortable. They're on the road where they are comfortable. So let's start with that. Been there, done that. We talked to Chas McCormick earlier today. We're going to play that interview in just a little while, but talked about being on the road and how comfortable they are. Chas said, we feel like we're in control of this series now. Yeah, 0-2 wasn't great. Bit of a struggle, or not a bit of a struggle, but 0-2 is not great. We feel so confident. Although they're down 1-2, we feel so confident right now. So the state of the Astros, if you can win tonight, you completely reset the series, Alex. Then, instead of it being potentially 3-1, it's 2-2. And it's a best 2 out of 3 ball game to get to the World Series. Best 2 out of 3 series, with 2 of the games potentially being at your home. So if you can reset the series, you feel fantastic about that, and that's going to be huge here tonight. The difference in this game compared to, this is, again, I'll say it again, this is the most pivotal game of the series because of the implications on both sides. But if you're the Astros, you have to take the momentum from last night and run with it. You have to. You finally get that momentum, right? And that's what these playoff series are all about, especially the long ones. You have to take the momentum when you can get it, and you have to run with it. So what are they going to do? The Rangers had won 7 straight, the second most all time in the postseason. They had all the momentum in the world. The Astros are the first team this postseason to finally take that momentum from them, and we'll see tonight what they're able to do with it. They've scored 59 runs in the last 5 games at Globe Life. That's the third most over a 5-game span in history.
That's crazy.
In 1969 in the visiting park. That is crazy. They love it here.
Yeah.
They play great here. They're 7-1 here this season, 6 in a row. We talked to Chas about that as well. What is it about this place that makes you guys play so well? They do. Now, it is different tonight, as we mentioned. The roof is open. We'll see if the ball flies different and how that goes. But one thing we need to look out for, the Astros scoring first. When that happens, they win. 12 straight wins when they score first. 12 straight. So what does that do, Alex? It puts all the pressure on the Rangers. I guarantee you, they have a 2-1 lead. Fans here are feeling good. But after last night, it's a bit of a different feeling. Tonight, they still feel good, but if the Astros score first, the whole crowd, I guarantee you, goes, oh boy, here we go again. And it makes the Rangers press. Then the team itself, things start creeping in your mind. I promise you, as a player, it is something you think about. Okay, we have a 2-0 series lead. Great. The Astros play well on the road. That was big for us to get those 2 wins. You lose the first one, it's okay. We weren't gonna sweep this series. Well, then you lose the first one at home. Now we have the second one at home. If the Astros score first, that doubt creeps into the fans' mind, it creeps into the players' minds, and then it can be off and running from there. But the important thing to know here, with the reason that the fan base might, feel a little bad when things start going against them, this fan base, Alex, they've been tortured. They had 2 chances in a row to win a World Series. One year, they came back-to-back innings, 1 strike away from winning the World Series. The David Freese play. I can't even say that name super loud in this stadium. People will literally come down here and hunt me down and put me in the ground and stomp on me if I say David Freese too loud around here. The fan base is tortured, and they can feel it. And what it takes is having a team come in here and be able to beat them in your home and win a series. Look, we have Rangers fans on the production team for this show. There's a couple of them. One of them even said in 2017, when the Astros won the World Series, his immediate thought was, I can't believe the Houston Astros won a World Series before we did. And that's the thought, the general consensus of the entire fan base is, how is our arch rival that lives 3.5 hours away, how were they able to get a World Series before us? How did that happen? So look out for that. Look out for this fan base being ready to crumble.
Yeah.
And we'll see tonight. That'll be an interesting dynamic for sure.
Well, as we saw last night and as we continue to see, the Astros just dominate on the road. And during batting practice, we caught up with Chas McCormick to really find out why.
First off, thank you for joining me and joining us. I appreciate it. 0-2 start to this series, 0-2 after the first 2 games at home. But then you guys go on the road where it feels like you're more at home than actually at home. What is it about this team going on the road and being so good?
I think, you can never really count out the Houston Astros. Obviously, we were down 2-0, then we got a big W yesterday. We just have some sort of confidence on the road. I mean, I remember my rookie year after all that stuff in the past and just going out on the road and hearing the boos. And I remember just playing super well on the road and beating teams by 10 and really hitting really well on the road. And that's just carried on for a couple years now. Obviously, we love playing here. We have great numbers here. I just think you can never really count us out just because we've been in the playoffs for so many years.
Now, as you mentioned, this team gets quite the welcome every stadium that you play in on the road, even though there's only 3 players on this current roster that were part of that 2017 run. So has this entire team just sort of adopted that villain role?
Yeah, I think we enjoy it. I think we enjoy the boos, and my rookie year, it was a lot. I was like, holy crap, what's going on? But we're so used to it now, and it's over with. It's in the past, and now I think we just enjoy it, and it gives us some fuel.
No, I feel like nobody gets more of it than Altuve, which bothers me for a whole other reason. But he really does get the brunt of it from everybody. And it seems like Jose, when he goes on the road, whether it be in Yankee Stadium where he has some of the best numbers in postseason history there, or here or anywhere, he gets the brunt of it. And it really feels like with Jose, he's kind of embraced it and just comes out and dominates on the road. What is it with Jose on the road and just how well he plays?
There's just something about him leading off. When he goes, we go. With him especially being able to hit the first pitch of the game and drive the ball and maybe hit over the fence just gets the team going. I think he just enjoys it. He's our leader. He's one of the best teammates I've ever had. He's a great person too. And I just think when he gets on the road, he enjoys it and he gets super locked in, especially for his first plate appearance and You know, when he takes a drive at that first pitch fastball, he usually also has really good at-bats his first at-bat. And I just think he comes prepared, and he kind of loves the moment.
So what's been the conversation yesterday, today in the clubhouse to make sure that this series goes back to Houston?
Yeah, I just think when we were down 2-0, we were like, you know, this is fine. We're in fine territory, and especially yesterday, we had to win yesterday, obviously. And after getting the big W yesterday, now I feel like we're in the driver's seat, and we just know how well we play here. We know we know we're capable of making comebacks, and even if we're down, you know, even if we had a lot of ups and downs this year, so we kind of know how to get through that. Because usually, you know, my rookie year last year, we cruised through a lot of teams and cruised through the playoffs. Obviously, this is a little different. We're in a dogfight, but we since we've been in so many big situations, we know how to get out of them.
What is it about this place specifically? You guys are 7-1 here this year. The team plays great, but I don't know if you know your numbers here. You have 500 in this ballpark, which is the best in baseball. As a team, what is it about this place that you guys just love playing at so much? People are calling it Minute Maid North, you know.
I think we really like the short flight. I think the short flight really gives us a boost of confidence. Like, you know, we don't have a long travel, and it's a beautiful stadium. It's new. This is one of my favorite clubhouses here. I just think with the rivalry we have in the division, the AL West division rivalry with the Rangers, I think, you know, no matter Minute Maid or here, it feels like at home.
Does this feel like a rivalry to you guys?
I think it's becoming one, yes.
Love that. Chaz, thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate it, dude.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, we just heard Chaz really mention how confident this Astros team is right here. He said they feel like they're in the driver's seat. We just broke down why this game is so important for the Astros. So now let's talk about the Rangers, right? Now, remember, no home team has actually won at home yet in this series. So why is this game so pivotal for the Rangers?
Well, I think this one's obvious for the Rangers. If you can win, you go up 3-1 in this series, and historically that means you have an 85% chance of winning the series, right? So the numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Obviously, the difference between 3-1 and 2-2 is massive, and you end up with the same opportunity now that you had last night, Alex. Win tonight, you can essentially put them away. They weren't able to do it last night, but that's the benefit of going 2-0 in a series. Is they had an opportunity last night to make it 3-0 and put them away. Tonight, essentially the same opportunity to go up 3-1. That is huge. Next for me, the depth of the Rangers. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, they don't have the depth, as I've talked about the last few days, as the Houston Astros do in the rotation. Every turn the rotation takes for the Houston Astros, they know where they're going. Justin to Framber to Urquidy tonight, and then Christian Javier last night. They know where they turn. The Rangers seem to have question marks. Not only after games 1 and 2, when you get to 3, there's a question mark. Max Scherzer. When you get to 4 tonight, there's a question mark. Andrew Heaney's ended up going to go tonight. But they need to win tonight, because if they can win this game, their two studs, Jordan Montgomery and Nady Eovaldi, who have been great in the postseason, are going in the next 2 games for them. That's huge, because as I said last night, Alex, depth doesn't show itself in games 1 or 2 of a series. It shows itself in games 3 or 4. What does that mean now with this conversation? Depth doesn't show itself in games 5 or 6. It shows itself in game 7. What are the Rangers going to do if they get to a game 7? They don't even want to have to think about it. Finish it in the next couple of nights, and that'll be huge for them. Another thing for the Rangers, you got to get your guys going. Your studs, your stars in the lineup, the Marcus Semiems, the Corey Seagers. Their 1 through 4 batters are batting 146 in the ALCS.
That's not good.
That is not a recipe for success. That has to change. You're up 2-1 in this series right now without your stars doing what they've done all year long. They can't win this series if their stars keep hitting that way. Lastly, state of the Rangers, it's your mentality. You got punched in the mouth for the first time in the postseason last night. You had won 7 in a row. your first loss of the postseason. How are they going to bounce back? When everybody in the world was saying, well, the Houston Astros play better on the road. And now everybody's saying, look, the Houston Astros have arrived. And the streaky Texas Rangers, who go really hot and really cold, well, how are they going to respond to their first loss? We will see. But I'm interested tonight in how quickly that they are able to move on, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it yesterday. They had to pitch Max Scherzer in Game 3, right? If you're going to use him moving forward, he has to get some game experience. And Game 3, to get that game experience, is a lot better than a do-or-die game in 5 or 6.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that I was talking to John Smoltz about. And, yeah, let's check that out now. John, the story of the night last night, Astros came in down 0-2, facing Max Scherzer on the mound. A lot of question marks around Max. What did you think of the future Hall of Famer on the mound last night and what he was able to give the Texas Rangers in that Game 3 start?
Well, at times he looked really good, and at times you could see the rust of just familiarity with pitches. You know, I've always said in the postseason, we don't pay attention to little things that lead to big things. If Max Scherzer is in rhythm, he doesn't hit Alvarez on an 0-2 pitch. That led to some runs. Same thing with the wild pitch. And I think those are little things that pitchers take for granted, that you're out for 5 weeks and you just think you can overcome. Yeah. I thought the slider wasn't as crisp. His curveball was good. Fastball had life. All in all, he showed that he was healthy. But at the same time, tough task facing the Houston Astros when you have certain limitations that you're not able to reproduce.
Do you think Max answered enough questions for later in the series? He would currently line up to pitch in a Game 7, but do you think Max answered enough questions for the Rangers or yourself? Do you feel comfortable with him going back out there with the season on the line?
I would say not today or tomorrow, but in the future, how he recovers would be the answer. And if he feels good in 2 days, then I don't see any reason why, if it goes 7, he wouldn't be the guy. His fastball had good life, and his command on his fastball was really good. It's the secondary stuff that you always are at risk of not having crisp enough and really being in routine. So I think there's no doubt if he recovers and doesn't have abnormal soreness. He's going to have soreness because he's been gone for so long.
So it's not often the night of a start, maybe not even the next day. You know more about your body and the way it's going to recover a little bit post the start.
Yeah, I think guys are either a 1-day soreness or a 2-day soreness guy. And I think that soreness comes out based on your body type and what you do and how you flush it out. And if you can get on the mound in 2 days and feel like exercising your arm is no big thing, then I think he'll be fine. Because in the gap of making every 5-day starts, he's done a million of those.
Yeah.
It's the gap of not having 5 weeks go by or 35 days. That's what was new.
What were you, a 1-day or 2-day soreness guy?
I think I was a 2-day soreness guy. Yeah, next day I was playing golf, running around, shagging. And then the second day was usually my bullpen day that I found out a lot about my body.
Now, the Rangers could use a little luck tonight. We know that during the regular season, when they were kind of slumping, they started to play Creed to turn their luck around, and it worked. So they carried it into the postseason. And last night, Creed was in the building, and we got to catch up with them after they did the stadium sing-along.
All right, we're here with Creed. My question for you is, what was your reaction when you heard that the Rangers were using your songs as their postseason pump-up music?
We were shocked, honored, but shocked. You know, I don't think any of us saw it coming, but you know, happy to hopefully be a part of the spark that takes them all the way this year. So.
Absolutely, they haven't lost a game yet this postseason. So
yeah, that must have been a really cool moment there, just having that sing along with everyone. But what's next for Creed?
Well, we've all got a lot of individual stuff going on, as well as Creed. I've got a solo album coming out. Currently, it's available for pre-order right now. It's called Higher Power. So check it out. And then, of course, we've got the Creed Cruises. And
I just opened up a hospital program yesterday called the Smile with Stella Tremonti Down Syndrome Clinic. And it's the first of its kind in the Southeast. So we're really hoping to make it the most comprehensive Down syndrome clinic in the world someday. So I also have a Christmas record coming out called Mark Tremonti Sings Christmas Classics New and Old on next Friday, so check it out.
Yeah, well, I don't have a Christmas record coming out or anything, but hey, I'm here, the spirit of baseball, the spirit of music, and it's a beautiful thing. We're just so glad to be here.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Game 4 on deck here tonight. Pitching matchup. We got Jose Urquidy, Andrew Heaney on the mound. What are you looking for tonight with this pitching matchup?
Well, the biggest thing is, can the Rangers steal a game that is not pitched by their front two guys?
Yeah.
They've won 6 of their 7 games with a guy named Eovaldi and Montgomery. So they're at home. They have to reverse the narrative. They have not played well at home against this team. And I think for this game, they need more supporting help. They have to get better execution on the top of their lineup and create that pressure that they put on a lot of teams. For Heaney, he just has to be himself, be effectively wild. He loves the inside part of the plate, and he's funky. If he goes 4 or 5, that would be unbelievable. And then you mix and match the rest of the game.
Is Andrew Heaney able to see what another fellow lefty in Jordan Montgomery did in Game 1? Are they too different for Heaney to look at that and say, I need to execute like that? Or can he take some things from that first start?
I think he could take some things, location where they hit it, but he's a totally different pitcher. He relies more on his slinging action of fastballs. He throws a lot of fastballs.
Yeah.
Most people don't realize how many fastballs he throws. And he's got good complementary stuff. His angle of attack and throwing across his body creates an illusion that, the overall numbers may not look great, but lately he has been very valuable to a team that had decimated with injuries. I know 5-0 in the second half, but used in variable roles.
Yeah. What about Jose Urquidy? How does he have success tonight for the Houston Astros?
Well, much like their pitching staff, they have a known factor on the mound that they don't have to worry about unless he's not pitching well.
Yeah.
He throws a lot of strikes. He mixes and matches. He may not strike out a ton of guys with 2 strikes, but he knows how to pitch. And his last couple starts have been pretty good. First one, I believe he didn't give up any runs, and then 2 runs the second start. So timing's been very good for Urquidy. Same thing with Javier. Maybe last year beat these guys up a little bit, and they were in the middle of the year not as good. But I'll tell you what, that's the one thing about this series. The pitching matchups favor Houston almost 75%
Yeah.
of the time. And it's unique on how this series plays out will be determined about execution in the lineup.
Game 4 on deck. John, what is your deciding factor of this game here tonight?
That's a great question because of the unknown of how many people are going to pitch. But the deciding factor for me is if the Rangers don't get on early, they're going to have a hard time beating the Astros. They were 0 for 18 until 2 outs. That cannot continue. That trend has to be, they have to put pressure on the opposing team. If you are only rallying with 2 outs, you know how that just doesn't work. Yes, they ran into 2 2-out home runs, but the feeling was they were never in the game.
Yeah.
So from today's pinpoint execution early is going to be essential for Texas, because if Houston jumps on them again, they're going to feel like they own this place, and the crowd was taken out really quickly.
All right, we've broken down the pitching matchups. Now let's get to the lineup, starting with the Astros, because all the bats seemed to finally wake up last night. Who's your player to watch?
Yeah, it seemed like the Astros finally all woke up last night. Jordan has been hitting for a while now in this postseason. The rest of the lineup, welcome to the ALCS. For me, with this Astros lineup, couple changes we see in there. Chas McCormick back in there against the left-handed pitcher. He rakes against lefties. Dubon moved up to the 2-hole. For me, Alex, my player to watch is Jeremy Pena. ALCS MVP last year.
Yeah.
World Series MVP last year. Where is he? It's time to show up if you're Jeremy Pena. He's playing a good shortstop. It's time for him to show up offensively. If he can, the Astros lineup is so much deeper, and he's a huge key for their success.
My player to watch is Jose Altuve. He is the heart and soul of this team. And if he can really set the tone off the top, I think everyone else will follow. We even heard Chas McCormick say, as Jose Altuve goes, we goes. And if he can get this going in a game where this team needs to tie it up, I mean, we already know, we've heard him talk about how confident this team is. They feel like they are in the driver's seat. And if Jose can get that going, I think this Astros team's looking pretty good.
This is also his 100th career postseason game tonight. That's a lot of playoff games.
That's a lot. I mean, last night was his 25th career postseason home run, the second most of all time. Yeah. I mean, Jose is it. If he can get it going, they're going to get it going. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Rangers, Ben. Not a ton of changes here. What do you see?
Really, no. Jonah Heim and Mitch Garver switched in the lineup from last night, but the lineup's mostly the same. For me, the player I'm watching is Josh Young. 2 homers last night. That was really it for the offense, was his production. If he heats up, it hasn't exactly been a great ALCS for him till last night. Things took off for him. He was an AL Rookie of the Year candidate all year long. The postseason, he's been really, really good. 355 with 3 homers now. Well, now he's been great. 7 extra base hits in the postseason so far, the most for a rookie for the postseason games in their first 8 games. So just dominance from Josh Young, but not in the ALCS yet until last night.
Yeah.
So will he continue that? We'll see.
All right, my player to watch is Corey Seager. He is one of the best bats in this Rangers lineup, and we have not seen much from him yet this series. And if the Rangers want to move on to the World Series, they need Corey Seager to start hitting. Your best players need to step up in the biggest moments if you want to move on. I mean, in the wild card in ALDS, he was hitting 500 with a 1649 OPS. In this series, in the ALCS, he's batting 154 with a 308 OPS. That's not going to cut it.
No, that ain't going to cut it. And he was one of the best players in baseball this year. MVP candidate. He'll finish top 3, but in the ALCS, 0 extra base hits. Punched out 4 times. He's hitting 154. Like you said, Alex, that ain't going to do it.
No. Now, we know this is the biggest game yet, and I feel like we're going to say that every game moving forward in this series. What is the deciding factor in tonight's game?
Well, I'll tell you right now, this place seems loud. We were wondering how the roof being open would affect them. It doesn't look like it's penalizing them too much here, Alex. But we'll see throughout the game how it sounds. My key factor is who's going to score first. It's been so vital throughout the entire postseason, specifically for the Astros. 12 straight games where if they score first, they win. If the Astros score first, they win. If they don't score first and the Rangers end up scoring first, it's been working out that the Rangers are going to win the game. So the key for me, who's going to score first, we'll see, and I think that team wins the game.
All right, game prediction. Who are you taking in Game 4?
All right, Game 4 prediction. I'm going to say Game 4, things get tied up after Game 4.
Woo!
I'm going to say the Houston Astros win a close one. 5-4 is my prediction.
I also think the Astros are going to tie it up. And I have the Astros 5-3. I mean, they are a better team right now on the road than they are at home. And a home team hasn't won yet in this series. So I think it's going to be the Astros.
The Astros feel more at home on the road than they do at home.
Yeah.
This feels like a home game for them, and we heard it from Chaz McCormick as well. So we'll see what happens here. Thank you all for watching this pregame show. Continue to watch this stream all the way up through the first half inning of the ball game. Alex and I will be back live post-game for our post-game Flippin Bats episode. But for tonight, enjoy the game, everyone.
Gather around this table, boys. Bring your shame, I'll lose my voice.
Grit.
Your transgressions are
Resiliency. Tradition.
I'll find comfort in company.
Who we are.
That time of year where names are made. What a swing! There's that power you're talking about. His second of the game. There it goes. Plenty of shock in that bat. Leads the yard.
People are amazed at what he can do.
On our heads. And in our hearts. Texas. Through and through.
Gosh, what a tough act to follow that voiceover is. Welcome here to Globe Life Field. The roof is open for the first time since May on a gorgeous night as this Astros lineup comes to the plate. For the second game in a row, Dusty Baker changes things up after the 3-hit game from Mauricio Dubon. He bats second. Alvarez cleanup, Abreu and Tucker, then McCormick, Pena, and Maldonado to finish things up. Down to the field we go. Here's Tom Verducci.
Well, thanks, Joe. How do you take the measure of Jose Altuve? Well, you start with his height. He's 5'6", the first player at that height in 90 years with 2,000 hits. Now think about how he does it. The strike zone, that's just a suggestion. Last night he had hits on pitches from his nose to his toes. Now, Jose Altuve hit one pitch more than 3 feet off the ground, the other just 9 inches. This is career game number 100 in the postseason, and when he scores a run, the Astros are 41-12. Now here's Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Tom. The Rangers have 3 regulars, 25 and under, all very talented and all students of the game. Josh Young keeps a daily journal, setting his intentions before games, then summarizing what happened afterward. Evan Carter can be seen before games leaning over an iPad, studying how opposing pitchers work hitters. And Leody Taveras, well, he is constantly asking coaches, how can I improve?
That is a young group, Kenny, that is trying to bounce back from its first loss of the postseason, but with a veteran on the mound here, 32-year-old Andrew Heaney, who is the first of likely many pitchers for Texas tonight. First man that he faces, of course, is Jose Altuve, who found it last night with a home run. Off we go in game 4. He gets the call from the home plate umpire Doug Eddings, John, that has the biggest strike zone in baseball.
You just saw that on the first pitch.
Ball, that's all.
And I think the biggest thing for Heaney, that's going to benefit him. He pitches on both sides of the plate, tries to stay out of the middle. He likes to throw in a lot, so that strike zone, hitters beware.
Is 1-1 to Altuve. Hit sharply down the line and a fair ball. Ricochets kind of into no man's land there. And Altuve tracks into second with a leadoff double. He had an 0 for 17 going into his second at-bat last night when he crushed the home run. That is his 3rd hit since.
Well, he just finds the barrel of the bat no matter where the ball is. This guy is a hit machine, and right over the bag. Houston has done this a lot in this ballpark, and they're trying to put pressure and take the crowd out again like they did last night. They took this crowd completely out of the game.
With 8 runs on 12 hits to win the game 8-5, and this guy had a big part of that. Mauricio Dubon with a 3-hit game. And so Dusty Baker, for the second game in a row, plays a hunch, plays what he's seeing. He moves Dubon up into the 2 spot, which is the highest that he's hit since July.
Well, this guy's an aggressive hitter too, but he rarely swings and misses against left-handers. Loves facing left-handed breaking balls, and he's aggressive on the fastball.
The 1-0 from Heaney. Dubon fouls it off, and it's 1-1.
Now, with the dome roof being open, the ball should travel a little bit farther in theory with it being open air. We'll see how the fly balls travel tonight.
Pitcher's got to be like, really? I thought it was traveling pretty well with its shot. This is flipped into shallow center field in front of Taveras, a base hit. Altuve had to make sure that it would drop. He moves up 90 feet. Back-to-back hits to open the game for the Astros.
Well, if you're a Houston Astros fan, this is the perfect start for your team trailing 2-1. You've got your hitting shoes on. You've been hitting all year in the stadium. And a tough read for Altuve. He had to make sure that ball dropped in with nobody out. perfect guy at the plate, too, to drive him in with man on third, less than 2 outs.
That is one of the great contact guys in the league, and Alex Bregman, who's struggling to get going in this postseason, at 5 for 27. First and third, nobody out. Ball. Ooh, looked like he wanted to call it a strike, and instead ball 1. So Andrew Heaney started the first game of the division series for the Rangers, went 3 2/3, gave up 1 run. It's a guy they signed to a 2-year contract to be in the rotation, which he was until the start of September when they moved him to the bullpen. Pitched pretty well out of there. Really has pitched well over the last month and a half or so. They're going to get whatever they can out of him tonight, but essentially this is a bullpen game.
It is, and right now his mindset is, I can only give up 1 here. And first and third, nobody out. So you have to almost pitch this way to not try to get out of the inning with any runs. Gets a bigger inning against you.
Bregman flies the ball to right center field. Taveras on the move. It's over his head and bounces to the wall. Altuve's in to score. Here comes Dubon. Bregman for third. Throws offline. It's a triple. And it's 2-0 Houston, just like that.
This guy is so short and compact to the ball, and he goes and drives the ball. He knew he was going to drive it in the air to get at least the runner in. Chokes up on the bat a little bit, and he got rewarded to split the gap. Very aggressive going to third here with nobody out, but he did it.
And the Astros, for the second game in a row, have hushed this crowd immediately. Infield's pulled in, playing good on Alvarez to pull. He spanks one into center field and continues his incredible postseason, scoring Alex Bregman from third, and it's 3-0, 10 pitches into the game. What a blitz.
Well, we've seen the Rangers do this to a lot of people, and we're getting a taste of their own medicine right here in their home ballpark. Fastball right over the middle of the plate, and not enough time to talk about how good this guy is in the postseason.
Man, oh man, and what feels like a huge swing game in this series. I mean, Texas wins and they're a win away from the pennant, but Astros win, all bets are off. It's 2-2. They've got home field advantage back. And they're off to a roaring start, 3-0 before Andrew Heaney records the first out. And Dane Dunning's already loosening.
Yeah, that heart rate goes quick when you don't expect to be called up in the first inning in a postseason game.
Jose Abreu. Tapper up along first. Heim will throw him out. At the second goes Alvarez. And finally the first out for Heaney.
Well, I mean, the game's gone so fast, couldn't really get into the keys of the game for Heaney. It was win the early count battles and be careful on the first pitch. His first pitch, a lot of first pitch home runs and a lot of first pitch slugs. So their game plan against Heaney has been perfect. They're looking to aggressively swing early in the count. I don't think anything's gotten past 3 pitches so far, and they've got 3 runs.
RBI chance for Kyle Tucker. Started this postseason 2 for 22, and then yesterday dropped down in the order, walked 3 times, and then scorched a double his last time up.
If you're struggling mechanically, yesterday was a good game, and you got that good hit to end it to go into the day, but you got to stay. You got to stay in your mode, especially against a left-hander. It's a different approach. You have to stay in longer, lefty on lefty. You can get a little more anxious when there's a right-handed pitcher on the mound. That's where you can get in trouble mechanically. But these two left-handed hitter in Houston don't mind facing left-handed pitchers. That's Alvarez and Tucker.
Yeah, Dusty was saying he actually thinks facing a lefty last night helped unlock him.
Oh, that's all.
Having to stay closed, which is what he was working on. And rip that double. For the Astros, the Stars got it done, and they got it done at the bottom of the order. When you get all those things going, this becomes a most fearsome lineup. On this 2-1, Tucker takes a well-located fastball, 2-2.
Yeah, we're looking for that first breaking ball. Maybe we haven't seen many. All these pitches seem to be firm and fastballs that have done some damage early in this first inning.
Two comes home. That is down and away. And Tucker doing what he did last night. He saw 10 pitches out of the strike zone, didn't chase a single one of them. Bounce back to Heaney. Puts Alvarez to the bag and robs it over to first. 2 out. Well, John, you were saying before the game that this Astros lineup right now feels extra scary if you're pitcher trying to navigate it. When they're hitting at the bottom like they did last night, there are no breaks in this.
No, there's no breaks. And the bottom of their lineup was not typically the strength per se. You talk about the Rangers and what their bottom of the lineup does compared to Houston's, but boy, they have showed up in the postseason at the right time.
A new figure in the bottom of the order here in Chas McCormick as Dubon moves up into the 2 spot. McCormick's back in the lineup in left field, hitting 7th. Started the first 2 games of this series, a hit in both of those. Went ahead 2-0.
Well, the way this game started, you were thinking the Astros were going to hit for the cycle. The first 4 hitters, he had a double, a single, a triple, and then the guy who's hit the most home runs got a single. And this is what happens when you get traffic on the bases early and create pressure on the other team.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I mean, they were very home run reliant in the division series, but last couple of days it has been all about those productive at bats with runners in scoring position, clutch hits. In fact, more hits with runners in scoring position these last 2 games, last game and an inning, than they had the entire postseason before yesterday. On a 2-1, McCormick leaves it up there. Ball 3. Andrew Heaney, who has pitched well against the Astros this year, running into a buzzsaw in this first inning. He has walked McCormick, and the 8th man of the inning comes to the plate. And the second pitcher of the inning is going to come into the game. Now, Bruce Bochy told us before the game today, best case scenario, he was hoping Andrew Heaney could take 5-6 innings down for him. Instead, he gets just 2 outs. And that bullpen door opens for the first of many times as Dane Dunning comes in. Astros with a blitz in this first. 3-0 and still going. Dunning.
He's going to throw the kitchen sink at you, and he's going to try to nibble on both sides, change speeds. He's got quality breaking balls, good changeup, and a fastball that won't light up the radar gun, but he can throw it where he wants to when he's still in good.
In the dirt with the first one to Jeremy Pena. Pitched 2 innings of relief in Game 1 of the division series after Andrew Heaney gave up a solo home run. It was best year of his career, and at times he was the glue holding the pitching staff together with the injuries that they dealt with.
Well, good news, bad news for the Rangers. Bad news is they're down 3-0. But the good news is they haven't come to the plate yet, so they have 9 innings to try and score some runs. But what they have to do is get out of this inning with any more damage. I mean, they've got to get their offense up.
And you knew if you're the Rangers, you knew you were going to have to score probably a bunch to win this game.
Yeah, no doubt. But you know, it gives the other team a lot more confidence. We know what the numbers are on the road, but now Urquidy has a nice blessing to start the game with.
Chase there, 2-2. Yeah, how huge is that mentally to be able to take them out and already look up and see 3?
Yeah, it's a big deal on the road in the postseason, and it's a big deal when this crowd has been trying to drum up some energy and get sucked right out. As the roof opened, the Astros took all the air out with 3 runs in the top of the first so far.
Alvarez at second, McCormick at first. And a 2-2 from Dunning to Pena.
These were the battles that Houston was winning yesterday. The 2-out hits, the controlling the strike zone, getting deep counts. They were doing all the little things. Even when it was 0-2, they got a hit batsman that turned in to an inning that scored some runs.
Payoff pitch, runners go. Baltimore chop. Corey Seager will have to hurry. No way! Wow, he made it close with a bare hand pickup, but Pena runs well, and the bases are loaded.
And here comes that guy. Their catcher, as we watch this thing just take a high hop. Only play was that. He had to get rid of it early. You don't have time to get the perfect grip. He threw a changeup. But Maldonado, right man yesterday with 2 outs, similar situation.
Yeah, who would have thought? It was kind of backwards yesterday. The sparkling defensive play came from the old guy and Michael Brantley. 2 big offensive games down at the bottom of the order from Dupont, and Maldonado went 2 for 4, knocked in their first 2. Bases loaded, first inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Maldonado came into this postseason with 1 career multi-hit game in the playoffs. Yesterday was his second over the first 7 this year. So the much maligned offensive catcher contributing in that way this October. Behind 1-2.
That's the pitch I thought they were going to go to yesterday, and they didn't. They went with a fastball, and he got that big hit. Anything away to Maldonado. He's got that big swing.
Three in the bank. Bases loaded, 2 out. Dunning's 1-2 pitch.
Oh, that's it.
Count evens, 2-2. Dane Dunning against the Astros in early September gave up 9 runs, and that included 2 home runs from this guy. On 2-2, Maldonado takes ball 3.
And again, I hate to harp on this, but after seeing a swing and miss on the breaking ball, they've now thrown 2 pitches away from that pitch that he swung at. They've tried to throw him in, lock him up, but now the 3-2 pitch. It's so much pressure on this one.
Nowhere to put the 9-hitter. 3-2. Got him with a fastball to finish off the first. The Astros bat around in the first inning and score 3 times. trying to get this series even at 2 games apiece. The Rangers come to bat when you come back.